So, Mika, here it is. You're sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Finally, thank you so much. I know you're a busy, busy man. We should probably start with the big elephant in the room, which is, I'm sure you've seen it, the ongoing topic of performance. What's your opinion? Can you give some insights? What are the gang doing? Tell everything.
Okay. Nice talking to you, Sean, and nice having Zelda here with us as well. So on performance, there's actually, I would say, many things um, that are not working right now. Performance.
This initial expression is not bringing too much enthusiasm from me. This is not a laughing matter. The state of the game, like this part of the video suggests, is an absolute shambles. This is not time to have a laugh and a joke. This is time to be like, right, let's show the people what they were, what they came here for.
We could talk about performance being, as in like the frames per second on the different consoles that where you can play Helldivers. And but then there's also crash rates. So, we have various bugs causing crashes in the game. And then we just have the overall bugs that can cause like, jankiness that you can feel when playing the game. And we could also talk about just the sort of the tightness and the balance of the various enemies and the loadout and so forth. And all of this is probably what players,
Not probably. Definitely. Definitely. Performance, again, big issue.
many of these different things at least are what players are talking about when they're talking about just the game overall performance. And what I can say is that after the last big update into the Unjust, we experienced more issues than what we were comfortable with, and the players felt it.
One thing that I will agree with Mikael here is the fact that yes, Into the Unjust has brought enormous amount of bugs, enormous amount of problems. Yes, the community isn't happy, and I do agree the fact that they have acknowledged this, but what I'm interested in now is the action plan. You know what the problem is? Let's have a listen to the solution.
What I can say is that we're taking this very seriously.
Good.
And we are focusing way more now on addressing these issues to make sure that this sort of thing doesn't happen again.
Good.
And we have made the decision to push some of our content and feature updates a little bit into the future while we're addressing these things to make sure that we can get to a much more stable state.
Okay, that's very good. The fact that they are delaying content in terms of, the physical stuff, the updates, the enemy types, new weapons, etc., stuff like that, or maybe even pushing the narratives forwards, which I have noticed because the MO that came out today, as you guys are watching it yesterday, is one of the biggest filler MOs that I have ever seen. But I can't be too upset about this because obviously they are trying to bring the concept of the Gloom back into the game slowly, obviously bringing back a rupture strain as well. They did say it was going to take a little bit of time, and I don't mind pushing the content itself back. I know there's going to be a fraction of the community that is going to be progressively more frustrated because they are focusing more on the performance, but later on down the line, we are gonna get more and more players saying, where's more content, where's new stuff, where's new enemies, where's new weapons, where's new structures, missions, etc, etc. So I don't mind pushing the content back a little bit and obviously prioritizing performance, because yes, right now this is a number one thing, but we need to think about that little fraction of the players that will soon question the lack of content.
And then also we want to make sure that we actually do update the game in ways that will make the game more stable, in ways that are noticeable for players with every new update that we do. Some of these things we can address fairly quickly, especially with some of the bugs that players are rightfully complaining about. Other things are more tricky. For example, improving the FPS on the various consoles. Just that type of performance, that's more tricky. We have our top brains thinking about this, not me, but other people. But we are already making really big improvements, and I'm confident that we will get there, and we will be able to talk more in detail about this.
I like the fact that he acknowledges the fact that like this is a big issue. So I appreciate what he's trying to say here.
Hopefully, quite soon.
Well, I think that's going to be music to people's ears.
Absolutely.
We've scratched the surface on that topic, but I'd like to understand, when you look out over the roadmap, as you said, what are some of the things that you're excited for players to see or might want players to be looking forward to?
Once again, they confirmed that there is a roadmap, something that quite a lot of players weren't even sure that it exists. We have a roadmap in place, although we as a player base don't have a picture of it, the developers do. There is something there, they have a roadmap in place, there's going to be a structure at which they fix certain things. Okay, that's good.
Sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle to talk too much in detail about exactly what we're planning, because that's just not the type of game that we're doing.
Right, another thing that I just noticed as well, if you look at the bottom of the screen, we are now currently looking at forward content, release and philosophy. We are already past the performance state of the game. Performance and the state of the game has been talked about for 2.5 minutes. This is a 16, almost 17-minute video. I'm a little bit concerned now because I personally think that this section should have been significantly longer. I really hope he's going to touch on performance a little bit more, but at the moment, the fact that this section is so short makes me a little bit concerned.
Players catching all kinds of weird aerial phenomena. And I was speculating that this was actually the Illuminates.
Okay, we are going a little bit of a tangent here. We are talking about the lore of the game. We're talking about the past of the game. I don't think this is the #1 focus right now. I think we need to focus about what we are about to do. We need to focus on what's going on right now, the fixes that we need to do right now, not about the previous content. Although it was Omen, yeah, don't get me wrong, Omens of Tyranny was an absolutely amazing release.
But we can't, and I can't talk too much about exactly what's gonna, what's coming down the line. But
okay, that's actually a very interesting one. I understand he's talking about the content release and philosophy in this section. He said he can't talk about things too many. There is nothing wrong with telling us about the technical element of the game. Like, I understand you guys have like NDAs, etc. regarding content, but I was saying earlier, the performance section of this video is 2.5 minutes long, and it's almost a 17 long video. We are communicating the wrong things right now. We are communicating about previous content, that's Omens of Tyranny. That was almost a year ago. We need to shift away from that and focus on what's going on at hand.
So that's the future, but I want to take a second and look backwards. Obviously, you've been...
Again, don't look backwards. Don't look backwards. Look right now. Looking back on pivotal moments. Okay, the pivotal moment right now is that you are losing players. That's a pivotal moment right now. The pivotal moment right now is that you are losing players, and I can imagine that because of that, you are losing your revenue. You as a game director, I can imagine that your responsibility is also financial, not just the game itself. You have some access to, financial and revenue statistics. That's the part that I'm a little bit concerned.
So, for example, Malevolent Creek was one of those moments that the players created, which is awesome. And then we have stuff like the Battle for Super Earth, that is, players got to take part in defending Super Earth, and they actually managed to defend Super Earth, which is super cool. And
And what happened after that was one of the things that I was personally very disappointed about, was the removal of the content. We had a Battle of Super Earth, we had the concept of the mega cities. They have been removed from the game for, correct me if I'm wrong here, Pardo, about 2-3 weeks before they have been reintroduced in 10-minute major order. We have lost access to the Illuminates. I understand that. Obviously, they vanished. You're trying to secure the law a little bit. I understand this is obviously interview. They didn't specify that this was coming up, etc. But I think this is a very unprofessional way to present an interview in the situation that we are now. If the game was in the adequate spot, I understand when you can have a laugh and a joke. You have a dog who's like, oh, super cute, but I understand they're trying to make this as positive as possible. This just looks like I am watching like an interview where people that are in this interview are, everything's good, everything's happy, everything's a rainbow. That's not the point right now. Right now, we are in an absolute thunderstorm of a game, with performance being a #1. And once again, why have we stopped talking about it? I really, really don't know.
For anyone who hasn't played one of these tabletop role-playing games, that is the addictive thing when doing that. And that's what we want to do and what we're trying our best to do and develop further with Helldivers. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just excited about this. So I hope that for new players, I forgot what you asked actually, but for new players...
Right. The reason why you forgot what you asked because you are going off the tangent. There was a question regarding the pivotal moments in the game. We have went so much of a tangent, the question that has been asked towards them has become irrelevant. Because we are talking about the games that are absolutely irrelevant to the current situation, the community, and to us that absolutely love the game. I'm going to quote Cloud Plays on this one as well, because he has said this in the past many, many times. If the game does well, I do well. We make the content on it. If the game's performing well, more people want to play the game. More people want to find out more about the game. More people go visit our channels. We get more views.
You know, for the players that joined day one, they all got to sort of learn about this universe and learn about the game and how you play the game. And with Xbox, we now had a bunch of new players.
That's the key word. Had majority of people that were enjoying it on Xbox. Okay, not a majority. I don't know the statistics, but a large chunk of those new players have already left.
The question that keeps coming up is when you're playing, what's your play style? What are you doing? How do you...
Right. Okay. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm going to say this right now, and I'm going to say this very openly. Who the fuck cares? I don't care about the game director's playstyle. Why is this a question on an interview where we should be talking, once again, I'm going back to this, when we should be talking performance? Why the hell would I care what the Arrowhead developer's playstyle is? I swear to God, if you are going to talk about your favorite loadout, I am going to crash. Why should any of us be in the slightest interested in that? Like, no. Like, this is a big no. This is such an irrelevant question in this interview. Like, it's such an irrelevant question. It actually annoys me. I've mentioned that in the video that I posted earlier on today as well. Why on earth are we talking about this? Honestly, I have no idea.
How do you like to play? What makes you excited? What makes you tick? Like, what sort of goals do you have?
What kind of goals do you have? You are a game director. I'm sure you are a lovely person. I'm sure you care about the game very much. You always talk about the game very, very expressively with a positive attitude, etc. I understand that. What's missing from the game are two things. Performance and the players that we have lost because of that performance. That's number two things that we should be focusing on recovering. And so far, there was a very, very limited amount of information regarding two of those things.
Players tend to give very different answers because, of course, players have different needs. And
yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
So I'm also part of one of these player profiles, you could say, like types of players. So we have, you know, people have seen Niklas and Lennart on video talking about balance updates, for example.
We need that, and we need that very, very quickly. We need Lennart, other developers, to talk about this a bit more.
Basically, living through different sorts of fantasies. That's what makes me tick. So when we do war bonds, for example, what we try to do with war bonds. Okay, I'm throwing in many things here now. But
right? Yeah, exactly. We are throwing too many things here. Again, we are going off the tangent and we are talking about irrelevant information that the community is not interested. Like, what are we actually addressing in this? Because this is so random. There's information flying all over the place. Somebody that has a little bit less of an understanding of a game than myself, somebody that is just a casual gamer, they're not even going to watch this. Like, this is the part where majority of people watching this video are already gone, because majority of the players are casual players.
So that was pretty cool. And then Battle of Super Earth was also, I think, one of these.
Again, we already talked about this.
But there are many. Tianquan was another one. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Calypso was really, really cool to see.
Again, we just talked about this.
We could talk for ages and appreciate your openness. And of course, anybody should share their questions for you in the future as we do more of these moments to get your thoughts and hear from you.
We need those.
The final one that we're going to ask before letting you get back to things is, what is one thing that you would like to share with the community?
We will fix it. We are sorry. The game is not in the right state right now. We have a plan in place. The roadmap consists on this. This is how we're going to do this. Instead of getting what I just said, which is my expectation as a player who cares about the game, who cares about it performs. Because once again, if the game does well, I do well. However, this is what we got.
I would want to say first that thanks for the patience as we go through these we're so back, it's so over moments.
Thank you for the patience. Our patience has run out very long time ago. My one is on the verge of running out, and the only reason why I do that is because the game itself, the idea of the game, of a life saver, the concept of a, you being the ultimate super soldier fighting for democracy, liberating planets. I like the idea of the game. And we are not patient because a solid chunk of those players already left, which means the patience is well beyond that because they are no longer here. Every single Tuesday, we are expecting a patch to finally come through. And you guys, I'm not going to lie to you, a majority of you guys are sitting quietly. And if you guys aren't sitting quietly, it's not going out wide enough. It's not spreading well enough. So the people that are looking forward for a Tuesday update, they want to receive a little bit more of a clarification. Even if it's going to be a little bit of a cheeky message, official Helldivers 2 Discord. Give us a message saying, no update. Or we are working hard, give us an expectation.
It's very positive. Like, it's a very positive experience, I think, to interact with the community. And I'm looking forward to interacting.
Let's do this a little bit more. Yeah, there you go.
Sean, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This doesn't inspire my confidence in that statement, because how many times did they say they were going to communicate with? And I feel like they've been communicating less and less and less. And if they are communicating about the irrelevant stuff, which is exactly what this interview is. And that's why I think this is an absolute crash out.
Well, big thanks. Zelda's doing a little bit of a snore here. There'll be more in the future.
Yeah.
So are the players. The face of that dog is exactly what we as a community are. That dog, look at this dog right now. He's just looking down on the floor and it's looking at you, Michaela. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is not what I came here for. This is not what I'm interested in. Like, this is such a good representation of the player base right now. That dog is literally winning an Oscar for a Helldivers 2 average player reaction. Well done, Wiener. Well done. My initial reaction for this video was, yes, we are finally gonna get feedback regarding the roadmap, regarding their performance. It started off very well. It started off, the first 2.5 minutes were absolutely great. We are talking about the performance, the acknowledgement that the Into the Unjust update has broke the game in many, many ways. That was a part that I was very, very excited about. Once we reached 2.5 minutes on that video, we are started talking about complete baloney. Why? I have no idea. Why have we addressed stuff that is completely irrelevant? First of all, why are we talking about the game director's playstyle? That was so baffling to me. And then we are talking about the Battle of the Super Earth and Calypso for the several minutes. Why on earth are we talking about this? The first 2.5 minutes of the interview, great. But we haven't expanded into those 2.5 minutes whatsoever. And the next 14 minutes were just an absolute irrelevant bunch of stuff that we are simply not interested in. So yeah, I appreciate the communication. However, we are communicating the things that we are simply not interested in. That's just my personal opinion.